in 8th grade, I ran like 2:16 for the first time. Like, she like was so excited, and I was like, why are you in tears? I just ran a race, it doesn't matter. But for it to now be the NCAA championship, it was a nice like reflection moment of like how much I had done to get there and what my teammates have done for me to get there, what my family and coaches have done to help me get there. So yeah, just a big moment of gratitude.
That was Makayla Paige today on the Running Effect podcast. I'm thrilled to welcome Makayla on because she recently won the 2025 NCAA Indoor Track and Field Championships 800-meter title on the women's side, and she did so in remarkable fashion, taking the lead early and never looking back. And yeah, it was a gutsy performance. It was so cool to see it pay off. Recently had Coach Milt on the podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed and listened to that one. And we talked about Makayla's performance a little bit there, but it was cool to hear about it today's conversation from her perspective, her journey to get to this point, her upbringing with her parents being successful athletes, but how they never forced it upon her, how she's learned and discovered to love and enjoy the sport. Some of my favorite moments of this episode were Makayla describing how she keeps the sport fun, wearing silly bands on her wrist and all those different sort of things. I thought was utterly amazing, and it's always enjoyable to hear about those unique aspects of an individual when you see them win a big race, but then you hear about what actually makes them that runner, that person. And I feel like we did a great job of displaying who Makayla Paige is in today's conversation. She's an NCAA champion. She's a school record holder in the 800-meter run by over 3 seconds. She shouted it this past February or January, one of those 2 months, and she's got a big future ahead of her. If you enjoy this one, share it with a friend, family member, 10 teammates, 20 teammates, 30 teammates. Help us out. Hit the follow and subscribe button so you never miss another episode. And as a cherry on top, it was a 5-star review. And with all of those notes aside, enjoy my conversation with the one and only, newly minted NCAA champion, Makayla Paige. Makayla Paige, welcome to the Running Effect podcast. How are you doing this morning?
Good, how are you? Thank you for having me.
I'm doing excellent. I know you were recording this at 11, and I'm saying that because the average listener would not know. You have class at 12, so I'm so curious. You're clearly like bouncing between things. I'm sure you have practice at some point today. What is like a normal, we'll say Thursday because we're recording on a Thursday. What does a normal Thursday look like for you?
Yeah, so Thursdays, usually I have practice. Tempo warm-up starts around 9:30 to 10, depending on which kind of time block you want to go in. So you have to get your run done prior to that. So I usually start around like 8:40 or something like that. And then I come to our training table, which is kind of where I'm at now. So training table is right above us, which is really nice and convenient. And then I'm in the study area, so I hope that it's not super echoey right now. But then on Thursdays, it's my more relaxed day, which is really nice. I just have physics studio. Which is good. Physics. I have a really good group. Yeah, it's just like physics, life sciences, so it's not the whole calc-based physics, which is really good. But yeah.
UNC is honestly pretty prestigious as a university, I think, compared to how most people would view it. Just being like an ACC school, I think a lot of people would be like, it can't be that hard to get into. But I think a few years ago when I was applying to colleges, it's like a 29% acceptance rate or something like that. I could be totally butchering it. But it's definitely a hard school, and the classes are hard, and it's like academically rigorous. How have you personally tried to balance, being the best in the NCAA at this point, while also like making sure you're going to physics class and doing enough in that arena as well?
Yeah, I would just say like the biggest things that I've done over the course of these last few semesters is spacing out my hard courses. So I kind of looked ahead in the major and made sure that I wasn't taking like Calc 2 with chemistry and then with physics, because that would have been crazy with trying to travel and keep up with all that work. And then the other thing that I've done is try to surround myself with people in the class that are like willing to help out. A lot of the people there are willing to help. I haven't met anyone that's like, no, I won't help you at all, which has been really nice. And then a lot of the professors have also been really, really kind with helping me out and making sure that if we miss any assignments, they'll let us know what it is, or if, like whatever notes I miss, they'll send the PowerPoint. So they've made it really easy here at UNC with traveling and all of that.
Let me ask you this. Do your classmates know who aren't runners that you just won an NCAA title?
So I try to keep track and my class is separate. I like to keep the student athlete really separate. So I actually go to class with a completely different backpack usually. Like I have my bright orange on backpack, and I almost try to make it so that people don't even know that I'm an athlete unless if they have to know. I remember last semester I did a really good job in one of my classes. The professor said like "good job" at some point, and everybody turned in. They're like, "You're a student athlete?" I was like, "Yeah, that's why I'm not in class sometimes." Um, but so yeah.
I think a lot of people would want to be really flashy with their backpack, with your athlete name and tag and sport. Where do you think that comes from? That like humility of just like, I'm a normal person too, and I want to blend in, and I'm not superior to you guys because I run super fast in the 800.
I think it probably comes from my parents because I grew up with them like being super, yeah, we did track in college, but they never really said like how good they were. And then I'd go downstairs in the basement and they'd have all these national like trophies from the time that they were in college. And I'm like, yeah, that's so cool. And they're just normal people. And then growing up around that just made me want to kind of just like be a normal person as well. And then I also think it helped me make running not my whole personality because for a while, I guess freshman year, I would say like it was very much like I'm a runner, like this is all I do, like I don't do anything else. And that caused a lot of mental blocks and struggles. So I've tried to move away from that to help myself on the track and in the classroom.
Speaking on your parents specifically, what was it like growing up with that? And let's just loop in how you got started in the sport because I'm sure the two are hand in hand.
Yeah, so I am so lucky. I love my parents so much. They never put any pressure on me to like do track or run at all. They were just go out, have fun, like just enjoy it. Like they never pushed me into any sports at all. So I ended up doing soccer when I was really little. Because my dad played soccer and he's like, I know how to coach this, so why not just like try it? And so they both coached me for a while, and that was amazing. I met so many amazing people. And then when I went into high school, I fully went into like cross country and track. So I didn't really like, I kind of did track when I was like pre high school, but not really. I didn't run any mileage. I thought that was weird. Um, so yeah, I don't know. I just am really fortunate with how they kind of brought me up and didn't force me into anything. It didn't ever put any pressure on it.
You mentioned going downstairs in the basement and seeing all the trophies and accolades. Was there a point where you were like, Mom and Dad, what are these things? Like, were you guys good at something?
Yeah, yeah, they were because I was like, these look really cool. Like they are such a fun shape. I don't know. I was really curious to what they were, and then um, when I really started to get into running, I was finally like, well, like what were these? Like what kind of experiences did you have in college? And they would tell me all these stories, and I was like, I want that. Like I want that so badly. So I think that was one of the things that really helped and like pushed me to like want to run in college was because of all the great stories that they had. I'm like, I want to do that. So yeah.
Was there a point where you realized, like, oh, I too am very good at this thing called running, and I can carve out a path for myself within it?
I would say that it probably started in high school. I got really fortunate with my high school coach, and my team because when I came in, we had like Rachel Sessa, Megan Ostertag, Mackenzie Clark, Devin Bees. Like there were a whole bunch of people that were already paving the way to a good program. So that made coming in and like having success a normal thing. Um, and so yeah, I think that that answered your question.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, okay.
Absolutely. What were some of the struggles along the way you feel like in high school, bridging the gap between high school and college? And what advice would you have for a high schooler out there who wants to compete at the next level?
Yeah, I would say that a big one for me is like don't forget to love the sport first. I found myself like almost like having the expectations to do something that no one has ever done before. Like if I didn't hit a record, if I didn't like win by like a certain amount, like I wasn't doing good enough. And like it never felt like anything that I did was like good enough. And that wasn't from like my parents, my teammates, or anything. That was something that I was putting on myself. And so I just fell out of love with sport. And so I honestly like I took a couple months away from the sport around like junior year after kind of everything got shut down. I really went into school and like focused on my AP courses. And I think that was really healthy for me. But there was still a little bit of like that mental side of things when I came into freshman year of college. And even after freshman year, my coach who ended up leaving, he kind of sat me down and he was like, hey, do you really want to do this? Like, are you enjoying your time here? Are you enjoying the sport still? And so I took that summer to really decide what I wanted to do. And there were a couple times where I thought that I might not come back to the sport, but I kind of just was like, I'm going to give it one more chance. And if I don't love it, then I'm going to step away. And I think that helped with like my success coming. I mean, I got injured sophomore year, which was really, really tough because that was another mental battle of I found myself to the point where I needed running instead of wanted running. So I think I also learned that lesson from sophomore year, but that led to the success that I had junior year and like what I had senior year.
I love that because I think a lot of athletes probably need to take a step back from the sport, but don't, and then just dig themselves in a deeper hole. What would you say to someone out there who like knows that they probably need to take a step back for, yeah? Because here's the thing. It's like running is, at the end of the day, running is a sport where you run around in circles as fast as you can, and it's not that deep, and we make it way more important sometimes than it needs to be. And like taking a month off is not the end of the world because running is not your whole world. So what would you say to someone out there who like resonates with what you said, but they don't have the courage to take that step?
Like the biggest thing that I can say is just like if you even feel like a hint of that you need it, like please take it. Like it's gonna take a lot of courage and a lot of bravery to like even have to say it to like your teammates, to your coaches, like it's gonna be really, really hard, but it can make you or it can help you fall back in love with sport. And if you decide that it's not what you want to do anymore, like it also helped you take a step forward into the new life that you want to build.
And why do something that you're not enjoying?
Yeah,
I think it's
exactly.
also,
Like
it doesn't have to be running.
yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like we put so much time into this and it's like if you're not enjoying it and if you're not loving it, then you're not going to be able to put everything out there on the track and it's just not worth it when you could be doing something else that you really, really love, you know? And so I always, this is kind of random, but to remind myself to just continue to love the sport, I wear these like silly bands. And so I like look at them before racing and I see myself wearing silly bands and I'm like, it's not that serious, Makayla. Like, don't take yourself so seriously. Like, just enjoy this. So
Silly bands. That's such a throwback. That's like a 2010 throwback right there. I love that.
Did you ever
Where do you
have
even
them?
buy them? Oh my gosh. We would have the largest collections. It's like who
Right,
had the
you'd have,
bigger silly band collection? You
yeah,
know,
like you'd have
yeah,
them
you'd
going
see
up your
how high they
arm.
go up. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you ever have the
Such a
rings?
throwback. Yes. Oh my gosh, everything. Because I was the youngest of 6 kids, so we would like trade silly bands with each other, and
Yeah.
like you could see who had the cooler collection. So where do you even buy them, or are those from back in the day?
So I got them from Amazon. They
Oh,
still
okay.
sell like the little packages, so highly recommend. They're awesome.
Okay.
They put a smile on my face whenever I see them. So
I love it.
yeah.
That could be an elite NIL deal. I'm just saying for all the
Silly
silly bands
bands.
executives listening to the podcast. I know that when you came to UNC, it was a little after the like beginning of the Milt era, but you're definitely earlier on within his time there. Obviously, remarkably accomplished in high school, could go multiple places. What made UNC and Coach Milt stand out to you that made you want to join the program?
Yeah. So I actually didn't talk to Coach Mill much throughout the recruiting process. I think I might have talked to him once. Um, I mainly talked to Coach Sorensen, who ended up leaving at the end of our sophomore year. Um, and he was just very, very like positive and super excited and like it just felt like he truly believed in what we were doing here. And so that got me really, really excited about UNC. And then I had a couple Zoom calls with like a bunch of different schools and I talked to the UNC girls and by the end of the Zoom we were talking about Crocs. I was like, this is my group. I love these women. And so after that Zoom call, it didn't take me very long to commit here. And it was actually crazy timing because Sydney and Bryn also committed like around the same time. So it was a lot of fun. And I couldn't see myself going anywhere else.
Whether it's the Crocs or the silly bands, you seem like someone who just like enjoys fun things in life. Where does that come from? And how much do you think that like positively benefits running in other aspects of your life?
Yeah, I would say that really came from like my like being in such like a bad place my freshman and sophomore year, like mentally. I think that really drove me to trying to find the bright side and everything. Like I saw like I went through a whole quote phase as well. And one of them was like in order to have a positive mindset, like just try to find the positives in everything and just like write down 5 things that you're grateful for each night. Um, And so I just started doing silly things that if it made me smile, great, and if it made someone else's day, like even better. Like I also so many quirky things. I wear like different colored socks or like random designs on my socks, and everybody always looks forward to seeing what socks I'm wearing each day at practice. So yeah, if it makes me smile and makes someone else smile, it is an easy choice for me to make. But yeah.
I love it. I love it. So good. Speaking
Did you
of
ever
that,
do any? Oh, sorry. Did you ever do anything like that? Like random?
oh my gosh, no, I was probably more anything random. I'm trying to think. Not particularly. I feel like I was like a pretty normal, but honestly, those are some of the ways that I think I should have changed. Like I think I was too type A. I think I was too like I think I went down the wrong path in high school where I like cared about things way too much and like yeah, well, I don't think I should have been like screwing around in the woods at every practice like my teammates were. I think there was a level of healthiness that I should have participated in. Um, I think I thought my high school running was like pro running, and it was not. I was never that good. Like I was like decent for my state, but never anything like crazy. So when I hear stuff like that, I'm like, yes, because I think a younger audience needs to hear that because I was the opposite and I could have benefited from hearing that. Um, because again, specifically in high, if you're a pro runner, sure, treat the sport like a job, but like until that point, even in college, it's something you do. It's not who you are. And I think I could have been positively benefited from a way more loose, way more loose mindset around it. So embarrassed to share that, but also it's just
No,
real.
no, no, because like it's important for people to hear that because it's just sometimes you don't realize that you're doing it too, and if you don't realize, and like you won't even know there's like another side to it. Um, so no, I think it's important. I appreciate you
Yeah.
sharing. Thank you.
Yeah, of course, of course. Speaking of Coach Sorensen, you said he was the one who mainly recruited you, and you were coming into a UNC program that was like good, and you mentioned the other girls that also committed around the time of you who were like the best in the country at the time. But the program was very much, and still is very much up and coming. What made you decide and feel like you wanted to join and be a part of building something rather than just joining something that was already dominant?
Yeah, I guess it's just something that I always wanted. Like I never felt like I don't know. I just had based off of what they were saying and like what I still believe. Like I fully believe that we could become that team, and like we still can. Um, I don't know. It was just inspiring and really cool to think that like we could be the building blocks for that. Um, yeah.
Speaking to that, and maybe fast forwarding a few years, but like even I look at in the show notes like some of the things you've done this year, including setting the school record in the 800 by 3 seconds. If someone said set a school record by 3 seconds, I'd be like the 5K, the 10K, maybe. No, the 800. Like it's crazy. What pride do you take in the fact that like you were building and helping to build the legacy of the UNC women's program that will last probably long after your time?
Yeah, I mean it's really exciting. Like it's really cool to see like the I mean, I feel like I'm pretty normal at practice, but sometimes Milt's like, yeah, like these girls are looking up to you, like and it's just cool to hear that and know that I have that impact and it makes me continue to want to be a better runner, better person for them. Um, and I know that they're all like fantastic people, so if I can show them like this leadership now, I hope that they can take it into the future and continue to make this program even better. So yeah.
What would you say makes the program special from your perspective?
By far the people. I
Yeah.
love the people here. Um, there is so much possibility here, and I can't wait to see what we end up doing. There's again like not only the people that were in my class, but like looking at like the little freshmen right now. They have so much potential. I've been training with Cassidy Scott all out there cross country season, like through indoors. I can't wait to see what she's gonna do in the future. And then I've seen a couple of the other freshmen, they've been training really well with the longer distance ladies. Yeah, I mean, there's just such a bright future here. And it's definitely because of the people and the coaching staff. Um,
Obviously, you've had a long, successful career even before your time at UNC in high school, as we talked a little bit about. But recently, that race where you set the record by 3 seconds, you ran 2 flat 0.57, you won an NCAA championship, which we'll get into. What would you accredit your recent success to?
Um, a lot of different things. I mean, a lot of people obviously, like Coach Milt, he's been helping me get back from that injury that I had sophomore year, like um pushing me to be better in each race and like pushing me to learn lessons that I did not want to learn from each race that like would make me uncomfortable, but I had to do them if I wanted to run really well. Um, and then Coach Ryden. She like recently joined us as well after Sorensen left, and she's been really really helpful for the women's team. It's been really awesome to have a female coach on the staff, and then obviously like my teammates and family. Like I remember after nationals, like they were just all standing there, and it was the best feeling in the world. And like they have been my biggest support system, and I couldn't have done this without them.
Obviously, to win an NCAA title or to run a time like 2 flat 0.57, like you have to have a level of belief and confidence in yourself. And knowing Milt, I'm sure he was big on trying to build that up within you. What are some ways that you've grown in that area over the past year that you feel like have helped to unlock these new levels and new levels of potential?
Yeah. So something that I, well, going back in time, Coach Sorensen told me was like, in order to become the runner that you want to be that runner right now, and like fully believe that you are that runner right now. And I've kind of taken that with me throughout the years. And when he first said it, I was like, what does that even mean? Like that doesn't make sense. And I really sat down and thought about it. And I was like, okay, I have to start like acting like this runner. Like I have to start believing that I am this runner now. And then Milch just helped build that in me throughout each race, and just like through practice. And he's just like trust what I'm doing. And I mean, basically what he's done with Ethan and Park. I'm like, how could I not trust what you're doing? You know, and yeah, he also helped me. Yeah, just helped me like with learning the lessons that I needed to. And yeah, I kind of got lost and sidetracked there,
No,
but
that's good. That's all good stuff. Speaking specifically on the race itself, when you're on the line waiting for the gun to go off, what was going through your head?
I thought I was gonna throw up.
Really?
Honestly, yeah. I was right before when we were in the bullpen. I was like leaning over to tie my shoe, and I almost threw up. And I was like, okay, you know what? No more leaning over. We're just gonna get to the starting line. I think I was one of the only people that didn't do a stride before the race, and it was because I was concerned I was about to need to go to the trash can. Um, and so yeah, like this, there was someone who got like a serious like video of me, like it looked like I had a serious look in my face, and I was like, that moment, I was literally thinking, do I need to raise my hand to run into the infield? Um, but yeah, so I think it's funny to see what I looked like on the outside and know what was kind of going on in my head. But besides that, I just felt like super confident and really excited. Like the night before, I didn't sleep because I was so excited to just race with women who are the best in our event. So yeah, that was what was going through my head.
Was the throwing up due to eating something bad for breakfast or nerves? Or both?
I think it was more just like racing the day before, and then I just hydrated a lot, and so I think that it was just like a combination of everything. Not anything bad. Like I ended up being perfectly fine. And then probably just like a mixture of just excitement, like just a whole bunch of stuff. Not anything in particular, but I was also able to tell myself it's definitely just my brain trying to psych me out and giving me another reason to not like do this, but I was obviously not gonna do that. Like, I don't think that at any level, well, at any level, people aren't gonna be, I mean, people are gonna be nervous. Um, and so just remembering that everybody else on the line is nervous as well, yeah, that helped.
Going into the race, did you believe you could win it? And what was that process like if you did to get to that point?
Yeah, yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, I hope, like, I think anyone in that field had the chance to win that day, and I had to make sure that I believed that I could win that day to put myself in the position to win that day. So on the line, I went in with full belief that I could do it.
Was that exciting to you, even like thinking of the prospect of being able to win an NCAA title?
Yeah, it was really cool. I was in the line, I'm like, okay, I can compete to win, and it was just focusing on the competition side of things instead of time. Because there's been races in the past where I'm like, oh, I need to hit this certain time, or like to qualify to nationals, you got to hit this, and it's like the worst because it's taken away from the sport if you just want to compete with the people around you. So it was nice to have a race that was really just make sure you're competing with everyone in the field.
Well, what point would you say did you realize that you had it in the bag or like had a really good chance of actually winning it?
Not until I crossed the finish line. I had
Really?
no clue where it was. I was like, just get to the end. Um, yeah, I mean, the point where I was like, okay, I can like definitely win was when me and Bo Song were coming around that turn, and I was like, okay, like I really, really want this. Like, you got to start kicking right now. And then I had no clue if she was gonna come around like the final straightaway, so I was just telling myself, keep going, like get to the finish line. It doesn't matter where people are. So yeah.
You mentioned a few minutes ago that your friends, teammates, coaches were all at the finish line. Take me through that process of, or just that moment of crossing the finish line, realizing you had won, this lifelong dream that you had told me about, walking downstairs, seeing your parents own hardware, and then to be able to achieve this lifelong goal. What did it mean to you and what was the emotion in the moment?
Yeah. So for me, like I think it was shock. That's what I think I've decided like when I crossed the finish line. I couldn't like hear anything. I like almost just there was like no emotion. And my first thought was like, did I miss a lap? Like, did I actually like finish? Um, and then all of a sudden, like the crowd and like everything just like came at once, and they're trying to pull me over for like an interview. I just remember wanting to like look over at the UNC blue in the stands, and I was trying to like wave to them, and I didn't see them at first. And I was like, where did they go? And so I don't even remember what I said during the interview. But then I went to walk off, and when I saw them, and all of them were like in tears, screaming, like I just instantly burst into tears as well, and it was just so many emotions at once, and just um, I don't know, I was just so grateful that they could be there. And like my mom came over and she was in tears, and like it brought me back to when um in eighth grade I ran like 2:16 for the first time. Like she like was so excited, and I was like, why are you in tears? I just ran a race, it doesn't matter. But for it to now be the NCAA championship, it was a nice like reflection moment of like how much I had done to get there, and what my teammates have done for me to get there, what my family and coaches have done to help me get there. Um, so yeah, just a big moment of gratitude.
So cool. Thank you for sharing that. With your coaches, what was the first thing that was said? What was that moment like?
Milt gave me a high five and a hug, and he was like, "Enjoy it, like take in everything, have fun." And then that was all he really ended up saying, which I really appreciate because it was just like, okay, I'm gonna take in this moment because it's so easy to just like oh yeah, I did this, like I believed that I could do this, like you know, um, but really made sure that I like focused on taking it all in. So yeah.
Obviously, on the men's side, with people like Parker or Ethan, the men have had a lot of individual success. And I feel like it's been a long time coming for one of the females to like win something like this. What did it mean to be the one to do it? And to, again, I mentioned this earlier, but it's true, like truly cement your legacy within UNC history and know that there are probably some of the best middle schoolers and high schoolers watching you on the TV and being like, what's that blue program? Let me go Google this. Like, let me look into this.
Yeah, I mean it's really exciting because like I'm hoping that what I did will help the program, like even after I'm long gone, like years later, I hope that they can like use that to get like these amazing runners to come in and help build the team that I know that we can be. It was really cool because Outdoor Nationals was the first time that one of us has kind of qualified in a while. And so I remember Fatima Alana saying in our team meeting, like one of us needed to make it so that it can be shown that like this is what we are doing. Um, and so I hope that like me performing well at nationals has that same effect of like this is the program that we are building, this is the program that we want to be, and like it's a step in that direction.
What do you, well, let me ask you this. A lot of times, right after the race, your thoughts, because it's just so crazy and you're so caught up in emotion, they can be different the day after than they are like 2 weeks later, which we're almost 2 weeks removed from it. Are there any new reflections or insights that you feel like you've gained in the recent days as you think back on that day and that moment?
Um, Honestly, like not too much. I feel like I took a lot of time immediately after to just like kind of digest it. And Yeah, I don't know. There's not really too much else I've kind of added. I'm really proud of myself for putting myself in the front. Like I just haven't done that a lot in the past. So I've reflected a lot on how my race kind of went and how if I go in with confidence, if I go in with like putting myself in a place where I can win, then like I can compete with anyone in the field and not to be like nervous with I'm racing with certain people, like it doesn't matter what their name is, it doesn't matter like what they've run in the past. Like you just got to show up and compete on that day. Um, so that'd be like the biggest reflection that I've had since then.
How do you feel like winning an NCAA title and even running the times you have this year, winning the things you have? How do you feel like it raises your ceiling of expectation for what you think you can accomplish within your running career?
Um, I would say it honestly doesn't change much for like me at all. Like I feel like me and Coach Milt have talked about these really, really big goals. And as I said, I always try to think of myself as the runner that like I want to be. So I already have like goals that were way beyond this anyways. So I guess it's kind of just feels like it's a step in the journey than it is a change in anything.
That's a Milt perspective right there. I love it. I love it. So good.
Thank you. He's
What
rubbing
would you?
off on me a little bit.
Yeah, as you should. What would you say to that 216 version of yourself in eighth grade if you can go back and have a conversation with her?
um, it would really be like I would just tell her to trust herself, and as I said, like enjoy it because it's so short. Like we only get so long to run, and I just think me in the past took it for granted, and like I took for granted like the people that I had on my team and like what it was like to have like other I don't know, just other people that enjoyed running. And as kind of like my college career is slowly coming to a close, I'm really looking back and being like, I have been so lucky. So I would really tell her just, as Milt told me after the race, like enjoy like the moments that you have. Yeah.
Bridging the gap between indoor and outdoor. Where's your mind at? Where's your heart at? And what are some things you want to get after, go after in the coming months?
Yeah, I said the biggest thing is continue to compete how I did at nationals. Um, don't let other people kind of control my race. Like be the one controlling my destiny instead. As we say on the team, ride the tiger by the neck and not be whipped around and like where the tail is. So I'd say like that's the biggest thing. Because I like obviously I want a PR, but that's gonna come from competing with everyone around me. So yeah, competing with people.
Makayla, final serious question for you. For those who have listened to our conversation today, what would be the final takeaway message that you want to leave with them?
I feel like I keep saying the same thing with just like the enjoying it, but I really
Go
wish
for
that
it.
yeah, like I really wish that someone my freshman year said like this isn't something that you should just be like hating starting a race for. Like you should be enjoying every race that you not like yes, you're nervous and your brain's going to give you every reason why not to do it. But at the end of the day, like do you enjoy what you're doing? Um and so that would be my biggest thing. As I said before, just like make sure you're enjoying it. We work too hard to not love that like what we do every day. We put too much time into it. Like, yeah, I don't know. Just love the sport. And if you need to take that break, then take a break and come back and let yourself fall in love with it again and don't put pressure on yourself to do anything insane every race. Like you just got to go out, be yourself, compete with everybody around you and that's all you can do.
Such good wisdom. Makayla, final question for you. The question I ask every guest on every single episode and podcast. If you had Gordon Ramsay coming over to your house for dinner, what would you choose to make for him?
One of two things. One of which I live with Ethan and he came up with this. They call it dog food. I don't know if he said this on his
I
podcast,
think
but
he has.
so
Sounds
either
familiar.
beef and rice and eggs, um, with like a little bit of cheese. I personally don't do that, but I would do that so that he would probably like it, and then an avocado. Or I've been trying to teach myself how to cook chicken better. So making some chicken and putting it in the oven, and then with some like potatoes as seasoning. And probably microwave
That's
broccoli
not
because
bad.
yeah, not
That's
too
not
bad.
bad.
A little
That's a
bit of
good start.
everything.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah,
I
what would
love
you
it.
make him?
What would I make him? Oh gosh. I feel like runners aren't that good of cooks, but they have their five staples, so I'm very similar. But I feel like I can, and this is such a basic answer, but I feel like I can nail like a really good like pan seared steak, really good roasted
Ooh.
potatoes. maybe some asparagus, and then like probably like a really good salad with like a lot of different vegetables and like a good homemade dressing or something like that would probably be the go-to.
Yeah,
But
that's a lot more impressive than what
no,
I
not
do.
really. I don't know. That's the thing. Like people think that like steak object, I think in my opinion, is like the best tasting meat, but it's also like the things you mentioned, like specifically the first one, like that sounds better to me because I'm like that's more
Okay.
unique. The flavor profile is like way more. Those foods combine with each other really well. So sorry, we're starting a food podcast now. But
Yeah. I wouldn't
so
mind. Yeah,
yeah.
I would try to learn. I make like whenever we want dessert, I just go to the store and get this like package of cookies and I just put it on a tray. I'm like, yeah, I made cookies, guys. So that's like the level of my cooking.
There's a funny
Yours
story
would
about
just
that. Yeah, there's a funny story where my sister Grace she's the one right above me, so like a little over a year older, and she would always make homemade cookies and they were always so good. And like you would smell them throughout the house, and my dad would always be like, "Oh, can I have one?" And of course she'd be like, "Yeah." And so we would always love my sister Grace's homemade cookies. And there was one time that I was like, "Grace, can you make homemade cookies?" And she was like, "No." Like she was whatever, busy or whatever. So I went to the store and bought exactly what you're saying, like the pre-made dough, put them in the oven. My dad thought my sister was making them, so they come out and he's like, "These are so good, these are like amazing." And we're like, "Dad," or I was like, "I made them, Dad." And he was like, "Really?" I was like, "Do you like them more than Grace's?" He's like, "Yeah, I think so." And so my sister Grace and I were just like dying. We're like, I guess the pre-made stuff is better after all. So
They're surprisingly good. Like I didn't realize that they were gonna be that good. It's impressive what they end up doing with that. Now, don't want to think of the chemicals that are in it, but that doesn't
right.
matter. They taste good.
Right.
Yeah.
100%. 100%. Well, Makayla, thank you so much for taking the time to chat and chop it up and share insights from your career, and cannot wait to see all the things you'll accomplish in the years to come.
Of course. Thank you so much again for having me on. That was awesome. It was so great to talk to you.